Good evening and welcome to Truth, Health, and Wellness. I'm Lacey Klontz and I am here with Dr. Matt and Deborah St. John. We have missed you all.
Yes.
And I have missed you too.
Yes.
How was your trip?
Oh,
it was
amazing.
awesome.
Absolutely
Very
amazing.
busy.
Yes.
We had a lot going. We were supposed to have some pictures queued up. I'm hoping that we were able to get to them.
Oh, I think he said we will.
Okay, cool.
I think
so. But yeah, we had a wild adventure. From the time that we left, it was nonstop, and we're glad to be here. We're glad to be healthy and well. And,
Yes.
and we didn't even have any. We didn't have any malaria. We didn't have any parasites.
Yay.
That I know of. We don't. we didn't have any incident whatsoever. So it all worked out really well.
Great. Well, we are so glad to be back. Glad to see you all. And are we going to have some slides maybe?
I think we are.
Our producers in here, we're not sure yet, but
we'll work on it.
we will know shortly.
But we did. One of
So-
the things that really blew us away, there's a lot of need right now in the
A
Amazon.
whole lot.
There's
I'm
a
sure.
drought, a very significant drought. There's the water levels are really low. There are people that are dying every day or two. There we were. We're in accidents. There we go. Awesome. And in boating accidents, and there's
Oh
just
my
been a lot of
gosh.
there's a lot of environmental issues because there are wildfires that are going all in Brazil. I think there are like 20 wildfires, which is interesting because these wildfires tend to happen around election years, which is really weird.
Isn't that interesting?
Interesting.
is.
And so, but anyway, there's a lot going on there, a lot of political unrest. We found a neighborhood. There was someone reached out to us that there was a neighborhood where 11 homes had burned, and so every family, all the 11 families, lost everything.
Everything.
There,
Oh,
there it was.
there they are.
We can go back one. That's
Oh.
there it went. On the pictures you'll see it. There it is.
There we go.
That's the damage that you can see the
Oh.
frames that were there, and that's a lot of damage that they've received. And so there are 11 families that are basically displaced, and there it is. And you can see that there's just a lot of area ravaged. We received 11 different pages of needs for these people, and each page has every family member, every size of every article of clothing, their shoe sizes, and everything else. And so we were there. There's Javier over there to the right. And
that's him?
That was Javier,
Okay.
yeah, on the right
Okay.
side there. And there's a little lady sweeping. I don't know.
That's her
That's
in the
her
middle of the
yeah.
left picture.
Yeah, there's
there.
her with a broom, and that's she didn't. It's like she doesn't know what to do, so she's just sweeping.
She's sweeping her ashes.
She was very precious, and she waved at us and was being super sweet to us, and the people there were being super sweet, and it was just an amazing thing to see, though, and the needs. It's just so much. It's beyond us, so we're having to
Yeah.
ask for help and others to help us through our ministry
Yeah.
to help those folks. And there's also a lot of other pictures too. We can go back to the slides and kind of look at the one after that, because there's some neat things that we were able to do. There's the village of Santa Ana. And there
So
were
is that
some-
the donations?
It is.
Yeah, those are the donations
Okay.
we were able to bring with us. Some
Some of
of them,
them we
Wow.
picked up there.
yeah, some we picked up in Iquitos and brought the goods for the villagers, and they really enjoyed. We had a church, we had a church service, we had a lunch afterwards on Sunday, and then we gave out some gifts, especially to the children, and that was really neat. We can go to the next slide. Okay, so over here on the left is a school that's in New Belen. Now this school is only 4 years old, but the Peruvian government hired some cheap contractors, or some contractors that pocketed money, and the boards they used for the floors of the school you see behind them, are all rotting. And you have to have pretty good boards in the Amazon for them to survive. And so they use cheap materials, and so as a result, they're needing to have new floors at this school. And so we're working with them. They need 300 boards. They have the labor, they have the manpower to do it. They just need the boards themselves. And so
Okay.
those are the children that met us. We just went for a lunch with our friend Lito, and the whole neighborhood showed up, and it was really sweet. And a lot of these, of course, most of them are all their students. They go there. Here we have some students. Now, okay, you wonder why these kids are all grabbing my arm up there?
Because you are a gringo, right? Is that what you were telling me about,
Yeah.
Deborah?
Yeah,
That
they
they've
had never
seen.
touched. They had never. They didn't. They wanted to touch us. That's what the teacher said. That they wanted to touch us. And there's another picture on the other frame that we were looking at. But the teacher was really super sweet. Well, first thing I noticed above their board, you can't quite see it in that picture. Actually, you see a tip of the picture, but there's a picture of Jesus Christ first thing when you walk in at their school. And it's interesting because I asked them how many school shootings they've had, and they said, and I researched it, they've had one school shooting in the past decade.
Like all of Peru.
Yeah, and we've had 400 right, in the
Interesting.
entire country, and since then the United States has had 477. So since they removed Jesus from our schools, we've had 477 school shootings, and since Peru has left Jesus, they're at their schools, they've had one school shooting. So that's kind of interesting
That is
statistics.
extremely interesting.
And it's easier to get an illegal gun in Peru than it is in the United States. Don't ask me how I know that. The students there, it was just amazing. They were able to touch us and realize that we were just humans like them.
And they had never seen your skin color. They had never seen that. That is
not ever.
Not in person.
that
Not
is
in person.
wild. I mean,
Yeah.
that is so wild.
Yeah. On this next slide, that's kind of cool.
The monkeys.
The monkeys. Yeah, we're back to some of the wildlife.
The video was so cool.
In the middle, those are pygmy marmosets, and we had rescued those from the black markets of Berlin, and our friend Percy went and got those, and we've had them. They're not really the kind of monkeys that you can play with. In other words, you see over there to the right, there's my Nero, and to the left with Deborah, our little Nero, and he loves people, and he loves to snuggle and play and all that, play in our hammocks. But the little pygmy marmosets, they're not to play with. They run and they're super fast. So we found the tree that they prefer. It is on our land, and we did release them on our land there in the Amazon, right at the river, right at our port.
There.
And they scurried up the tree one after the
They
other.
were so happy.
Yeah, and it's adorable. Yeah, we videoed it. We had to do that, and that was
Yes.
very impressive. We can go to the next slide. Oh, and there's Ruby. There's Ruby. That's our beautiful.
I know you and birds.
Oh, it's
Now-
my biggest fear, but she is
Well,
beautiful.
okay.
He, she.
She.
The
that's
colors
Ruby.
are great.
Now let me tell you that bird could do damage to an eye. So
Don't tell me
Yeah,
that.
so that's when I'm in that picture there with her on my shoulder. I'll have to admit I was a little bit skeptical.
scared. Well,
that
no, I wasn't scared.
Well, it was when you first met her.
that was-
you know,
yeah.
they were just getting to know each other.
Yeah, and
so
she
you
wasn't
just
sure
gotta be
about me, and I
careful.
wasn't sure about her, but she was super sweet before you know it.
She wanted to do.
Yeah, she was
Peck you.
snuggling. There she is with little Maria at the porch of our cabin. There she is walking across the porch. She would literally just walk down the jungle, walk right out of the jungle, walk down the water tower, walk right onto our front porch. Especially it seemed like when we were eating.
Of course.
Yeah, to beg a little bit for food. And she would just hang out on her porch right there on the rail. She may be there right now for all I know down in Peru, just sitting there on our rail. Waiting for someone to feed her or to pet her. You can pet her on the back of the neck. She loves it. And she's a super sweet bird, Ruby. So,
I wonder if she can sense fear.
I think possibly.
Probably. She
Yeah, I think
probably
possibly.
could.
She liked to kind of snap at me a little more. She loved him, but most of the time birds bite me and they love him. So I don't know.
They'll
She
nip.
bit you.
Just a little. It wasn't painful, you know. It's just to basically tell you, hey, I've got a beak here.
And get her.
No, it's not funny. So when
hate
you were
birds.
asleep, where is that bird?
Wherever she wants to be. She walks around the property. She walks around the cabin. We had a little
Not
dog.
inside our house, though. You know.
No, not
we
inside
can
the
go
house.
we
No,
can
no,
Okay,
no.
so you're safe.
No, no,
We're
no.
safe from
Well,
Okay.
birds don't necessarily know exactly where to go to the restroom. So that was kind of an issue. But at the same time, she was really good about it.
She would
getting
always
off the
go.
porch.
Yeah, she'd always go to the rail
off
where
the
you know
porch.
it was like a little more kosher.
Yeah.
Can I just say that the other day I was in Animal Kingdom at Disney World. Oh my goodness, you should have been there to see this. I cannot believe I was by myself during this part of the day for no one to see this. But, so I'm just walking along a path during one of the back parts of Animal Kingdom where I'd never been before. They said there was a little petting zoo with some goats and stuff, and I
Okay.
love animals, so I was going
Right.
back there. As soon as I walk into that area, so Animal Kingdom, there's just trees and bushes everywhere. So you're on the path. A big black snake jumped out of the bushes and was 2 inches slithering
Oh my goodness.
from my foot.
Like you're at the Amazon.
And I didn't know if it was a remote control because one of the workers was standing right here. I didn't know if it was a joke where they just
Right.
pressed a button and
Right.
a toy one jumped. No, it was real. It was right by my foot. I
Oh my goodness.
screamed. I cannot believe I didn't shout a profanity or two. I kept it cool.
Good job.
But then, I mean, I was wearing my watch, my Apple Watch, and it said that I worked out like maybe, I think it calculated
An
15 to
immediate
20
workout.
minutes
Oh my
in
gosh.
like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So then I'm trying to cool off. I'm going to go look at some tigers. And I forget that there is a bird trail after the tigers that you have to go through.
Ooh.
And this big, I don't know what it was walking towards us, and I was standing next to the worker here, and I said, "This is my biggest fear." And he's like, "Well, we've just got to step aside and just stand here until we wait on it to cross." And I'm like, "Okay." And it had red eyes. It was looked like a demon. And then something just dropped right by my side next to my foot. It was bird mess, talking about how they don't know where to go to the bathroom.
It was above you.
And the guy saw, and I said, "That did not get anywhere on me, did it?" And he said, "No." So I don't know if I'm prepared yet for the Amazon if I can't even handle Animal
Oh,
Kingdom.
it would be fine.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
Because
Because they have anacondas there, right? Much bigger snakes.
We've danced with
There are,
anacondas
yeah.
before there.
Yeah.
You danced with
We
them?
danced with anacondas.
Like they were
the
slithering,
Kakuma tribe.
like-
Basically, they were like holding it, and,
Well,
and then they gave it to him, and he held it.
When a 13-year-old girl's the one dancing with it, it's hard to be like, snake. You're like, yeah, snake. So it was interesting. Every once in a while, it'd fly by my head.
Yeah,
and
she
so
was
I'd
like
see-
swinging it around
Yeah.
while she was
Like
dancing and
lassoing the
stuff.
Well,
snake?
not
in
to the point where it was
not in a
abusive or
scary
anything.
way,
No,
but
no,
definitely
but-
it was.
Yeah.
It was coming by.
Well, it was
here
90 degrees, 100% humidity. We'd been like literally dancing in a hut, and we were covered in sweat, and they were playing Kill the Gringo. That's what they were doing.
Kill the green.
and there. I think,
That's what it was
I
a
think
game.
they have a good time pushing us to our limit.
Yeah,
'Cause
we were
went
staggering.
we went on an herb walk one time on our trip that we were.
Oh, you're gonna
just
talk about
on.
that, yeah.
And yeah, we wanted to identify some plants, right?
Absolutely.
So our guide and his shaman friend,
Jaime.
they take us out on a trail to see some herbs.
Yeah.
Well, it starts out fine until we start going.
About the third ravine that we climbed.
And
When I'm talking about climbing up, I'm
down.
talking. These are. People say this is a vigorous hike, rigorous hike. It was rough, and then I look over it.
Holding tree roots, climbing.
At some point, she
Like
she
Tarzan or
falls over.
something.
Oh yeah.
While they're actually taking machetes and clearing the way for us.
Yeah, through the dense
Right,
jungle.
through the jungle.
Right.
And-
So we could get to the tree of knowledge. We found the tree of knowledge. I made a tea from it. Drink
Yeah, we did. But it was ravine
Is that
after
fun?
ravine.
it. Wasn't it? Well, I mean, considering what we did for it, I'm drinking this tea.
Yeah, seriously, because it was rough. At one point, I'm like, I think they might hate us.
Yeah,
They
it
just
was-
like to see us
Yeah.
suffer.
Yeah, we're not worth a lot extorted,
But it
so
was,
we figured
but,
they weren't.
But we
holding us up
lived.
to
We
it.
made it, and I was pretty proud after that was
Did you
over.
see any crazy critters during that little
They saw
trek?
us. They
Yeah,
saw us.
you
We
know,
didn't see them.
We were making a lot of commotion coming through. So.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go and break on that one.
Yeah, on that note, I don't know what I'm going to be dreaming about tonight, but all kinds of crazy things. Well, we will see you right back here in just a few minutes on Truth, Health, and Wellness. Don't go away.
May not believe it, but it's true. The 2024 Team 1 Chevys are here. All 23-24 Silverado light duties have 2.9% financing for 72 months. The hottest new 24 Team 1 Chevy Blazer, 1.9% financing and no payments till April. And the #1 selling family vehicle, the Equinox, 24 models. You got it. 1.9% financing and no payments till April. Team 1 Chevrolet, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eli Gold, and I want to invite you to tune in to Jack State Live, a look at the campus and athletic department at Jack State, followed by the Coach Rich Rod Show, where we will break down and preview the next football game for the Gamecocks.
What can you buy for $10? A hat? A milkshake? 166 channels plus live sports? That's right, for only $10 you can get 166 channels of classic TV shows and movies, including the latest news update from all around the world and local sports. Just simply go to 24ctn.com and click download, and then for only $10 you can have access to the best TV available. At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We are on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. So come to Southern States Bank, where we are committed to great service and being a great neighbor. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Welcome back to Truth, Health, and Wellness. I'm Lacey Clients with Dr. Matt and Deborah St. John. Now, just before the break, we were talking about their recent adventures in the Amazon and, you know, all of the people there that, you know, need your help. So what are some ways that they can help these people out if they
Well, they can. We have a Cash App and a Venmo and a PayPal for our ministry that they can send directly to. I don't like asking for money, but the problem is that it's you can't get the goods to Iquitos without basically bringing them on an airline. The cost of shipping them ends up being a lot more than if you buy them in Iquitos in the city and just take them to buy new clothes and take them to them.
Wow.
I mean, we were paying 10 soles for shirts, which 10
which
soles
is like $2.50.
Yeah, $2.50 for a shirt.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, we were buying shoes. We could get 12-pack of sandals, really pretty decent made rubber sandals that we could get. I mean, not like the shower shoes or the kind they use in prison, but like the good ones. Not that I would know.
Kind of like Crocs, but
yeah, kind of
not
Croc-ish.
a Croc. You know,
but they were like how much for 12?
Wasn't it 140
soles
140
for 12 pairs.
for 12
So that
pairs.
puts them at just over like I don't know 12 soles a pair, and 12 soles equates to about
$3.
about like $3 for a pair of shoes for someone.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot cheaper to buy it there. And so, but anyway, we can also, the cool thing is anybody who donates, they can sponsor, they can take a family, one of the 11 families that has needs of the fires, and they can sponsor one of those families, and then we can say, okay, well, how about you get shoes for everybody in the family? Or how about you get, a shirt or some shorts or whatever it might be, and we can do that in care packages. And then literally we get, we take those funds, we send them to Javier and Lido. Javier and Lido go shopping in Belen, and they buy the goods, and then they take them to the people, and then they give them to them. And the whole thing.
They take pictures of it, and then you can see everything that, what you're giving
What you're
and
giving
what it's
to them.
doing for the
that's
families.
great.
I have an issue with a lot of with a lack of accountability and
Transparency.
With a lot of mission stuff, ministries that we see. There's even some stuff going on down there where there's a lot of people who are giving to this particular pastor, and he's not even a pastor. He owns some sort of resort, and he lets on because he knows good English that he's helping these children, and then come to find out that he's really not. So we're very leery. Most of the missionaries that we meet in Iquitos are independent. They're not affiliated with any particular church. They're just people who care about people. Do we have any more slides, I wonder? I was going to see if we had any more slides. No, we're good on the slides. Okay, so we covered everything. So, but yeah, when we go down, we bring bags. We pack bags out of goods from here, especially things that are hard to get there. And we have certain friends, they're like, hey, can you get me some of those Columbia shirts or whatever? So we try to get a few goods for them. But and for example, one of the gifts, one of the folks that volunteers with us at St. John's had a brother pass away, and the brother collected harmonicas. And so he was wondering, what am I going to do with all these harmonicas? Because you can only play so many harmonicas yourself.
Right.
And so he gives them to me to give to the people there. And so we were able to donate to a few hand-picked people, and it was so neat to, like Jaime, the shaman, he has a harmonica. And after I played one for him for a minute, one of them said, "Yeehaw!" I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeehaw!
I didn't know. I don't know. It was like, where did you learn yeehaw?
That was very fitting, though.
Yeah, it
after
was.
playing a harmonica. Yeah.
Right. So that was really cool. But there's just a ton of need, and we every time we go down, we learn so much. We learn the medicinal plants. We learn more about the medicinal plants that actually grow right on our property. Chacruna and ayahuasca, and of course we have the Brazil nuts, and we have all these various. It's funny because almost every plant there is good for diarrhea. It's like, well, the Lord knew what He was doing, right? because
Yeah.
you know there's a lot of sketchy food that
drinking water that's not totally clean, and you're gonna have it.
Right,
so.
and it was fabulous. The food that we ate though while we were there was so clean.
Terrific.
And,
Oh, I'm
and Angela,
sure.
who works with us, we're actually working to get her a work visa to come to the United States because she wants to come to this country. It's
not easy.
It's so difficult. They make it. You can't imagine. We can't even. I mean, she can't even go to Mexico and sneak in.
Well, she
It's
can't
like-
even come here for a visit that easily. I mean,
No.
it's going to be like the
Wow.
end of next year before they'll even let her come here to
yeah,
visit.
before they let her visit.
Isn't that wild?
And it-
For America lets her visit.
Before the United States
we
lets
can go there easy.
Yeah.
But they
won't
cannot
let them.
come here and visit.
Well,
Peruvian-
that makes no sense.
Yeah, Peruvians have an open passport. They can just go straight to Russia. They can go straight into all these different
Like
countries.
170 different countries.
They can just walk straight into,
But
but
we're
not
not-
the United
we're not
States,
one
not
of them.
Canada, not Mexico. It's a strange thing. So,
Very.
Peruvians, it's like, oh, they don't want the hardest working people that I've ever met. They don't want some of the smartest and most, most tenacious people that have ever existed.
Well, and they know all about all that natural
Right.
medicine.
Exactly.
stuff.
There are no terrorist groups in Peru. There are no gangs of violence in Peru. Not anything of any significance other than some kids or something. There's, in other words, these are the most non-violent people that you would ever meet. There are no cartels in Peru.
No, it's all coming from like Colombia and
Yeah.
north of the border
Mm-hmm.
down the Amazon.
But
is,
but our country still basically forbids Peruvians from coming here, and it takes a lot. And we're going to try and work with Mike Rogers' office and maybe even Tuberville's office to help get her here.
Yeah,
Because she has nothing tying her there, and she's ready to move on. And there's a lot of need that people here have for what she does. We
Yeah.
have friends that have relatives that need care and that sort of thing. So but she took really good care of us while we were there.
I bet she
And-
did.
She is such a good cook. We had some terrific meals.
What was
Yeah,
the
a whole lot,
best
Angela.
one?
Oh, there were these little. Okay, so she was fasting because she was going to use some medicine, some natural medicine that night, and so she didn't have the dinner. So for whatever reason, Angela makes me this dish, and what was it called?
It was called Papa Rellenas.
Papa rellenas.
So you think of like, what is it, chili rellenas at Mexican restaurants, and
Okay,
it's like a
okay.
stuffed pepper. Well, the papa part is potatoes.
I was gonna say fries.
It's fried.
Kind of.
Yeah. It's fried.
Potatoes.
It's pan fried, and then
Yeah.
she takes, and it's stuffed with potatoes and cheese, along with shredded chicken and an olive or two, and absolutely delicious.
It was delicious.
And it was with rice, and the rice had peas in it, and of course everything's fresh from Tom Sciacca.
Right.
We had pictures. We
It's
had
all
pictures
natural, all
Of the, and it's
organic, right?
Oh, it
Yeah.
would be organic, yeah. And it was so good. And we had some little visitors. There were some hungry children that were on the porch. And, it's hard to eat when you have, and I say they were hungry. They weren't hungry like starving. They were hungry like
For dinner.
Like end of the day, we
They
haven't
wanted-
eaten yet hungry.
They wanted some dinner.
So Liam and Maria tore into my food with me, and I got a few bites.
I looked over, and they each had a spoon and a fork, and he was eating as fast as he could, and they had their spoons also eating as fast as they could.
Yeah, once
Bless
again,
It
not
was hilarious.
not hungry children, just children who happen to be hungry because
that
of-
time,
at
at that
that
The
time.
plate
moment.
was coming next.
Yeah,
they
were.
just couldn't wait.
They were in a hurry,
And it was good.
Oh, it was good.
I don't blame them.
We ended up
They're
having
so cute.
we had it without the cheese later because I
Yeah.
asked Angela to make it for Deborah, and it was really
It was
good. We
still
had a lot of chicken stir fry. We had
Chicken's really good down there. They
pollo.
they know how to cook a chicken.
yeah, it's they do. They know what to do with chickens.
We had one meal that was a fish
Okay.
that had its head on it still,
Oh.
and that's hard for me.
That's
I
hard
don't
for
do
me.
that very well.
That happened to me in the Bahamas. It still had eyeballs and teeth, and I
Yeah.
had
Well,
to
this
put
one
a
he closed his
napkin
eyes
over
before
it.
he died. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At least he wasn't looking at me, but it was
Yeah,
still.
this one was looking at me like he could bite me.
But thankfully, because Angela made it, and we had told her that we might have some fried fish. I didn't mean.
She fried the whole fish.
Yeah.
Basically.
And so yeah,
You know,
there it was.
cut the head
Yeah,
off.
there it
And
was.
this head, all the bones, everything. So you're like
Yeah.
having to be real
Yeah.
careful.
You gotta
You're
be careful
You're,
with
and
that.
it was
you're
our
finding
first,
Nemo.
and it was our first meal in the jungle too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Okay, let's just start out with this.
Yeah, with
like
a bang.
that.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting. But,
But
from
it
there
tasted great, actually, once you got over the idea of having to be careful of the bones and just not look at the head. Just ignore the head.
I was on a
That's
camping trip one
hard.
time when we went fishing, and the fish were so small we had to stick sticks through them and cook them over an open fire like that. And so it reminded me of that. So but it was
Wow.
better. Angela did a better job.
How hard is it to just grab a fish like that, though? That's got to be hard
It was, well,
because they're so fast.
oh, that's true. Well, I think we
You
caught the fish.
on a
and then
reel.
when we took the fish,
Oh,
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
you
yeah.
meant you just
Club, no.
like
No, when
throw
I
a
was
spear
when
at
I was
it.
a 13-year-old boy, I would have been
good.
watching. Yeah, that would have been too much for me. I
It's
would
like
have been,
Amazon skills.
Yeah, let somebody
Yeah,
else.
like with a spear
That's the
gun
kind
or
of stuff.
something.
They do eat piranha. They do eat piranha there.
And
Before-
and they
other than-
fry them with the heads and everything and their teeth. They're literally they'll be on a grill. You'll be walking down the street and people just put their grills out on the side of
Oh,
the
yeah.
sidewalks.
Yeah.
And they cook right there and it smells amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
And you're like, whoa, what are you cooking? And you look down and
see
it's,
the head.
and it's
A bunch
like
of- bunch
a
of fish heads.
piranha with all of its teeth, you know.
Or a caiman. Sometimes you see
Yeah,
the caiman,
yeah.
which is the
But
crocodile.
sometimes it's chicken, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it's chicken.
Sometimes it's like different vegetables,
Remember
plantains
what's
and
the
stuff.
worm called?
Oh, surrey.
Surrey.
Huh?
Yeah.
Surrey.
There's a
They
worm.
Worms?
Yeah, they do.
Well, they also eat them raw.
They do.
It's a grub worm.
Yeah, we haven't done
They
that
say
yet.
it tastes like chicken.
Then just eat
and-
chicken.
Seriously, I know. I
Except
just
for the
eat
people
chicken.
that I watch on video that
They-
that eat it and they don't act like it's chicken.
well,
Maybe toxic
well,
chicken.
some people eat them raw,
Wiggle
but
them
then
way out.
others skewer them on a stick and then grill them until they're like crispy. But they have a big black head and they have white fat bodies.
We're talking about the worm.
Surrey, yeah,
Yeah, that's just what she's
Yeah.
still talking about.
yeah.
So this
We
is to get
haven't
your mind
tried-
off the parrot.
We haven't tried Surrey.
No, we haven't.
We've
We've
talked
thought about it.
Don't
We
do
talk
it.
about it when we're not there, but when we get there, we're like, hey, we could do that anytime. We
Well,
should
I
do
never
it.
even saw it this last time. We
didn't
weren't in the right area, but we did try ceviche.
Oh, we
this
did
time.
in Tom Shaku.
First time
Oh.
ever.
What
to
is
have
that?
ceviche.
I've heard of it.
It's
What is
it's
it?
literally raw fish.
Raw fish.
Okay.
That's chopped up.
So sushi.
And
In a sense.
kind
In a
of,
sense.
but
it's in like a vinegar.
it's in like a
lemon lime
juice
juice.
sauce to preserve it, right, with some spices and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Served with plantain chips. Okay, so we get to Tom Shiaku to pick up the preacher who came over from Iquitos. We're in our boat, our new boat, which we're excited about the boat.
Oh,
it's a
fun.
wooden boat, and the motor goes.
awesome, beautiful.
And it's really
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
It's going to say St. John's Nutrition down the side of it.
Yes,
and we're gonna
the
use it.
logo.
Yeah, we're going to bring it to goods to indigenous people with it. And so,
Love it.
so we're there to pick up the preacher and his wife and a couple other folks that came over. So we get to Tom Shaku and find out that it's the 145th anniversary of Tom Shaku. Just happens to be, and they're having a celebration, a parade.
Oh,
the
that's what
mayor's
that
there,
was.
and so
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
and so they were doing the parade. They were like marching with doing all this stuff, and they had kids dressed up as all kind of
kids,
stuff,
as all
and,
kinds of things.
and
It was really
It was
neat.
really neat. So we actually got to sit for the parade and hold
Mm-hmm.
the celebration. They had live music. They had a bass player. I thought that was interesting in the jungle,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was really a wild time, really good time. But then we took the preacher, and this poor guy. He's he's in the jungle. He woke up at probably 4 a.m. He and his wife went all the way out to the jungle to sit in front of a little tiny village and to just preach to the villagers. It was wonderful. He did great. Wore a long sleeve button up shirt. He was dying. He had to have been it was rough for a city boy.
But while we were in Tom Shaku is when we got the ceviche.
Yes, we got the ceviche. It
Oh,
was
okay.
great actually.
It was good. It was pretty good.
Well,
it was a little chewy. Big chunks of raw fish is not my
cup of tea.
exactly, my best meal. But it was okay. I was glad I tried it.
We went through it. We did it, and it's done. And it wasn't a worm, so we were happy about that.
That's true.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am so proud of you two out
Thank
here
you.
doing the Lord's work.
Aw.
And I know you say you don't like to ask for money, but I will send them money so they can help these people down.
Well, call St. John's.
Yes.
We can line things up,
Yeah.
256-835-9588, and they can get in touch with us and we can line up anything. We can, mail checks or whatever too.
Yeah,
So.
that's true. Doesn't have to be Cash App or PayPal or whatever.
Well, on that note, that is all the time that we have, and so we look forward to seeing you next week. We will be here on Truth, Health, and Wellness. Again, I'm Lacey Klontz with Dr. Matt and Deborah St. John. Thank you for joining us, and have a great evening.